All right. Thank you, everyone, and hello. We are here today once again with Yahida, and I got it right today, didn't I?
Close.
It's close. Dog it. Okay, from BMO Harris Bank. She's here today talking with us about budgeting. I don't know about you all, but I tend to have issues sometimes in budgeting. So without further ado, we have coming to you, Ms. Torres. Let
Thank you.
me give you co-hosting permissions. There you go.
Thank you, Cassandra. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And then hopefully you can see everything. So thank you, everyone, and welcome to today's workshop, Making Budgets Work. Many of us struggle with savings. Budgeting doesn't always come naturally to everyone, and sometimes people find it a lot harder to actually budget their money than it really is. Budgeting is a skill. Planning and preparation are required on your part to make it work. In today's workshop, we're going to show you how to set financial goals, live within your means, and create and stick to your budget. So let's get started. So let's review our goals for the workshop. So today we're going to determine your personal obstacles to budgeting. We're going to create a format to track and analyze your spending, list your short and long-term goals, discuss the importance of debt reduction and emergency savings, and then we're going to apply strategies to manage your day-to-day spending. So what is budgeting? So budgeting is actually the process of creating a plan to spend your money. So how budget helps you is it helps you live within your means. It helps you pay down debt. Because you're reviewing your budget, you're able to set a plan to pay down your debt. It can help you stay on track and make you make payments. It can help you chart a path to get out of debt. Budgeting helps you save for the future and emergencies. It can help you save money towards your financial goals. Plus, it can help in case you ever come across an unexpected financial emergency, like your car breaking down or something in your house, falling apart and you need to replace, like a furnace. If you budget for emergency savings, you won't have to put it on an expensive credit card or put your expenses on a credit card. So these are some reasons in why we don't budget. People say, I don't want to think about the future, or it's too complicated. It takes too much time to create a budget. My income and spending is not consistent enough, or I have no self-control. It's a hassle, or sometimes it's hard to keep up, so why start? Understanding the challenges that prevent us from breaking a bad habit may help us overcome them. So we're going to talk about setting financial goals to help us motivate with budgeting. So now that we've reflected the obstacles and challenges that have prevented us from creating or sticking to a budget, we're going to talk about why we're all here. You all want to get better at budgeting, but your motivations may differ. To really make your budget work for you, it's important to have financial goals to motivate you. Financial goals are personal goals that you set for yourself about how you're going to save and how you're going to spend money. These goals can be both things that you hope to achieve in short term or long term down the road. So there's 3 types of financial goals that you can set. The first one is short-term goals. These are goals that are accomplished within a few months or up to 2 years. Some examples of a short-term goal could be paying off a credit card or setting up an emergency fund. Maybe it's saving for a vacation. Some medium-term goals can be accomplished in 2 to 5 years. Examples would be saving to buy a new car, or making a down payment on a home, paying off your debt. Long-term goals are accomplished in more than 5 years. Some examples would be building college savings or saving for retirement. Maybe it's paying off your mortgage. Setting financial goals is a fun part of budgeting. So we're going to think about how to set your own personal goals and how much you need to save to achieve each goal. So for me, when I usually set my goals, I do short-term goal. For us, we like to vacation every year as a family, and we're a family of 5. So we need to be able to put away to save for the future. Something my husband and I also like to do is remodeling our home. There's certain things that we want to do to our home. Last year, we had our basement finished, and that was something that we did and we saved for. A couple years ago, our medium-term goal was saving to have a pool put in for our house. So we have a pool in our backyard. So those are just some of the things that we're saving for. And long-term for us is we're saving to hopefully pay off our mortgage within 15 years. So now that you've thought about saving for your own personal goals, and I've shared some of the goals that I save for, we can start to dig in and discuss how to budget effectively. The first step is getting organized and tracking your expenses. Keeping all your financial documents and information organized and maintained is an important part of your financial health. You need this information to create a budget, and keeping it organized is going to help you manage your finances more quickly in the future. These are the things that you're going to need. So your all sources of income, a record of your average monthly expenses. If possible, track your expenses for at least 3 months so that you know how much you spend on each item on average, and a list of all your debts. When we think of lists of all sources of income, if you're doing a side job for cash, that would also be considered a source of income. If you receive a refund at the during tax time, that's also considered a source of income. So any bonuses that you may get are also considered sources of income, even if it's on an annual basis. Some of your debts, don't just think of your monthly debts, think of your debts like your oil changes, for example, things that you may not normally have to pay on a monthly basis. Maybe it's, annually if you pay, if you don't get a tax refund and you actually owe at the end of the year, that's going to be considered a debt as well that you can list. So once you've gathered all of your sources of income, write them down. When you've gathered all your expenses, make sure you're writing them down. What the expense is, the average monthly cost, and then is it a want or a need? So make sure you're including everything from housing to gas to entertainment expenses. Often you can access information by looking at your bank statements, any receipts. You can also track it via spreadsheets, print out a template, get a tracking app. Something I use is still a notebook. What's actually an expense tracker. I use a budget planner is how I track. So I still jot everything down, pen and paper, but there's many apps that you can find online or spreadsheets that you can create to add your expenses on. So then you're going to record your debts. So in this section, we're going to ask for more information than just your debts and your monthly payments. It's because knowing your APR And balance can help you create a strategy for paying off your debts by taking into consideration the additional cost of interest on loans or other debts. For monthly payments, list what you usually pay each month for each debt. If the monthly payment varies, try to determine an average. Once you've listed all your debts, you're going to add up the monthly payments and then apply that to your debt tracker. So tracking your income, expenses, and debts is a great first step, but you can't stop there. In order to create an effective budget, you need to analyze your spending. So once you've determined your total monthly income, your total debts, and your total monthly spending, you're going to calculate your discretionary income. Discretionary income is the amount left over after you've deducted your expenses from your income. Figuring out your discretionary income shows you how much money you may be able to apply towards savings and your savings goal each month. So to calculate your discretionary income, you're going to subtract your average monthly expenses, which includes your debts and that you recorded in your expense tracker and your debt tracker, and you're going to subtract it and then come up with your discretionary income. So this is the amount that you have left over every month. It's what you can afford to apply to your savings goal. So how many of you guys think it's enough? So most of us are going to say that we want more, right? In order to get more, we need to take a more analytical look at how we're spending our income. You probably heard of the 50-30-20 rule. So this rule is a commonly quoted financial rule of thumb. The idea behind the 50-30-20 rule is that you should split your expenses into 3 categories: your wants, your needs, and savings and debt. So 50% of your income should go towards things like you need to live, your rent, your groceries, and your utilities. So these are going to go for your needs. 30% can be spent on things that you want, but you don't necessarily need, like going out to eat, shopping, entertainment. 20% of your goals should be, of your income should be applied to savings and then paying down your debt. Paying down your debt doesn't include minimum payments. These are included in your needs, but you need to pay at least a minimum so that way you're not penalized. The 50-30-20 rule aims to be a flexible strategy for you to use to manage your budget. So here's an example if you wanted to, your monthly net income. So again, you're going to take what you're bringing home on a monthly basis, and you're going to add it there. So 50% of your monthly income is going to go towards your needs. So then you would document that 30% of what you're bringing home on a monthly basis would go to your wants, and then 20% to your savings. Then you're able to calculate what percentage of your needs is actually going towards what you calculated above, and then what percentage are you currently paying for your wants. And then you're going to be able to tell if you're off. So now you're going to be able to tell and have a good idea if you're following the 50-30-20 rule. If you're not, then you need to rework at your funds and see how they're just distributed. If you're spending too much on needs, consider options for downsizing. Some things could be maybe your rent's too high. Perhaps you're spending too much on food. If your rent's too high and it's not your mortgage, think about maybe finding cheaper rent. If it is your mortgage, do you have the ability to refinance to save on costs that way? If you're spending too much on food, what are some ways you could cut back? Maybe shopping in bulk or using coupons. Also, some things you need to do is maybe you're spending too much on your wants. You know, if you're going out for coffee every day, find ways to cut back. Maybe make yourself coffee. So just look to see what you're spending too much on, and find ways to cut back. Remember, this is just one strategy that you can use to make your budget work for you. It's not a hard and fast rule. So you may live in an area where your housing is very expensive, or setting aside 20% of your savings goal may be too ambiguous. You might not be enough. So we're going to talk about other strategies to help you cut costs and stick to a budget. First, we're going to talk a little bit more about debt. So paying off your debts can be an important step towards achieving your financial goals. When we discuss paying off your debt, we're focused on high interest debt, like credit cards. Credit cards are usually the worst form of debt, but some loans can have high interest rates. Credit cards debt, it can be very costly. If you work to pay off your debts, you're going to be able to apply what you used to spend each month to your savings goals instead. So there's two methods that you can use that we'll talk about to help you repay debt. They are avalanche method and snowball method. With using the avalanche method, you're going to focus on paying off the debts that have the highest interest rates. So the example on the slide, if we're looking and we're using the avalanche method, we're going to pay off credit card A since it has the highest interest rate. When we look at the snowball method, we're focusing on paying off the debts that carry the lowest balance. So if you're looking at this slide, we're going to pay off credit card B since it's the lowest balance credit card. Both methods have advantages. For example, you would save more using the avalanche method. Research shows that psychological factors play a role in paying off debt. So some people will prefer to use the snowball method because it's going to make them feel good about themselves and motivate them to help paying down debt. Whatever method you use, the important thing is to stick to a strategy to pay down your debt so you can begin freeing up more funds to put towards your savings goals. Speaking of savings goals, how many of you ever experienced a financial emergency? By that, I mean something unexpected happened that required you to need a large sum of money. Emergencies happen over time, right? It's a part of life. We all may already have had emergency or will come across one in a time of our life. A report out of Duke University predicted that over half of US households will have at least one financial shock, averaging 2,000. Sometimes emergencies can be even more costly than that. Some things may come up too, like if you've lost your job, or what to do when you have an emergency that you can't cover the funds in your account. How do you cover expenses when you don't have income? What most of us do is we end up using our credit cards. We use our credit cards to pay for an emergency, and doing so can lead to a downward spiral of debt because the more debt we accrue, the higher our monthly expenses are going to be and the less we're going to be able to put towards our goals. To protect ourselves from spiraling out of debt, experts recommend maintaining emergency savings that cover at least 3 months of your living expenses. This probably sounds like a significant amount, right? And it may seem impossible now. What is important is that you save something. Even 500 will help you ease the burden in an event of emergency. Another important thing to consider when planning for emergencies is to make sure that you have insurance that could cover expenses during an emergency. Insurance that can protect you against certain emergencies. These are health insurance, car insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance. Having this type of insurance can help you because you're only paying a deductible versus the large burden of having, a car accident and having to pay every, all the damage yourself. Paying down your debts and creating an emergency savings fund is a great way to reduce your expenses so that you can free up funds for your savings goals. But there are many other strategies that you can use to save money. Some involve changing your habits, some involve changing your mindset. So we're going to talk about a few of these strategies now. The first one is focusing on rewards versus punishment. So look at, if you're thinking of using focusing on rewards, then think of things that are going to make you feel rewarded versus punishing yourself for doing something. So instead of putting all of your income towards your medium and long-term goals, use a percentage of it to treat yourself to something special each week or month, like a nice dinner. Maybe it's a certain bottle of wine. The idea is you're going to reward yourself when we're focusing on saving for our goals and meeting our financial goals, rewarding ourselves because we're accomplishing something, again, makes us feel, accomplished. It makes us feel gratification, so rewarding yourself, it's okay to do that. It's going to help you learn to save even more and to budget more. Making it automatic. So the second strategy, again, is focusing on your tendency to avoid things that are too difficult. Just like we may spend less, it's more difficult to spend. If we save less, it's difficult to save. So do it automatic. Set up most banks, if you have your savings account and your checking account, you can set up an automatic transfer where they'll automatically take a certain amount from your checking account and move it into your savings account on a monthly basis. If you're employed, you can ask your employer if they're able to split some of your paycheck and then automatically put a certain portion of that every time you get paid into your savings account. Have your retirement contributions come out directly again from your paycheck. Set up automatic bill pay. That'll also help you. Once you've paid the balances on your credit cards, sign up for automatic payments and then pay off the entire balance each month. This is going to prevent you from owing any interest on your cards, and you're still going to earn points if you use rewards. When we talk about creating buckets, it involves creating buckets for your savings goals. Research shows that it's more difficult to save for specific goals if you're just using a checking account or even a checking and a savings account. Instead, create specific accounts for each savings goal. That's something that we do. I personally have a couple of checking accounts. One is for my bills. I have one on my own. My husband has one on his own. And then we do actually have a few different savings accounts that we use for the different goals that we're saving for. For vacation, we have one. For the remodeling of our home, we have one. We have one for emergencies, and then obviously for retirement. So there's no goal in how many accounts that you can have. The idea is if you're able to manage them, then you can have multiple accounts. Get real-time spending feedback and set reminders. Research mobile apps and online resources that can help you track your spending, manage your finances, and pay bills. There are even apps that remind you when a bill is due, or you're able to set an alert when funds in your checking accounts are due. Nowadays, every banking app also has the amount that you spent, and you can kind of track. I know BMO has Total Look. You can put all your bills in there, and it kind of gives you, it's actually, we have a budgeting tool that can help you for you to plug in your goals, and it kind of lets you know where you're at when it comes to that. So just remember, the easier it is to budget, the more likely it is that you're going to do it. Make sure that you maximize all the tools and strategies that you have at your disposal. Also reach out to your financial institution, your bank, see what tools, what strategies, if they have any additional resources that they're able to give you for free, that are going to help you be able to budget. And then just remember, if you mess up, there's going to be times that you may, don't give up. Just go back, look at your budget again and see where you went wrong. And then make changes, as you need to and when you need to. Make sure that you're setting goals that you're going to be able to stick to, and realistic goals. If you can't save, a large amount of money, and if you're not able to put, 3 months away for your emergency savings, what can you put away? Again, look through your wants and your needs, find ways that you can cut back there to help you. And then some things that some of people, like some participants in other classes, have done to help them, when they write their financial goals down, to keep them from not spending and maintaining and being able to hit their financial goals. They take a picture of their financial goals. Let's say you want to save for a vacation, right? And your goal is to go to Paris in a year. Take a picture of Paris. Take a picture of your goal of being into Paris. And then every time you're out at the store and you're tempted to shop, look at the picture. It's going to help you hopefully not spend for that day, right? Because when we think about our financial goals and meeting our financial goals and being able, once we do meet the financial goals, we feel, again, gratification, we feel sense of accomplishment, and that's better than, buying, the handbag that you wanted for this week, or that pair of pants that you wanted, or maybe, dining out for that week. So if you're ever tempted, a good idea would be to just take a picture of your financial goals on your cell phone. We all have a cell phone, and just keep it around with you. So that way you always have in mind, what you're saving for. And then when you meet your goal, again, congratulations, right? You feel accomplished, you accomplished something. Come up with a new goal to make. So there's so many different variety of tips and strategies to help you free up funds and stick to a budget. Make sure that you're picking one that's best suited for you, your needs, and your lifestyle. The most important thing to remember is that budgeting is not a punishment. With motivation and the right attitude, budgeting may bring you the reward of financial freedom. Any questions? We have a few people on. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
I'm looking on Facebook to see if we have any questions there.
Questions?
So hold
Okay.
on. No, someone said that they use Rocket as well. I know I use Rocket, and I
Yep,
always get I get a message telling me if I'm below my below a certain amount, yeah, or if something has happened. So far, no questions. So you can resume.
See, here's my budgeting book. I still have.
Because everything is blurred in the back, we could barely.
Oh, so it's just a budgeting book. It's by the month. So it has a calendar, but I'm able to list my income, my monthly expenses, and then every week track what I've actually spent, and then track where my savings, and then every month it gives me like just a note, like to try to save like coffee at home. So skip the wait, it gives me like a challenge every month to try to help and save more money.
When we do our class in April, we need to have one of those books for the participants. That'll
Yes,
be their gift. We
yes.
can have that for them. So I'm not gonna interrupt you. You can go back
No,
to
yeah.
your presentation and we can finish.
Oh, no, I'm actually, the presentation's over. If you guys are interested, we do have a participant guide. I'm gonna see if I can put my email in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me and I will send you the participant guide. With the participant guide, you'll be able to track list your expenses, your debt.
So what are we gonna give them at the class?
So at the class, oh, that's right. Well, you'll have to join our class and we'll give it to you.
There you go. I'm like, don't put that in there.
There you go.
Get them. So what we can do, when we have our class in April, we can also Facebook stream it and
Yes.
Zoom it, because we do have some individuals that are not in Chicago.
Okay,
so I don't want to cast them out where they feel like, oh, I would love to do the class, but I'm not there.
okay.
Someone on Facebook wants to know, is there another budgeting app other than Rocket?
There's so many different budgeting apps. Take a look at your bank, wherever you're at. There's actually so your bank, like I know BMO, we actually have like a budgeting tool within your online banking that you're able to access. So, and I mean, it's free. It's so much easier. You can go in and plug in all your information. So take a look at your bank as well to see what kind of tools that they have for you to help budget. I'm more of a pen and paper person versus like an app. There's so many different apps. I actually do have a couple on my phone though. Let me pull them up. I don't use them, but I'll give them out to you.
So we actually have the date and the location for April. So
are we good with April? Okay.
So we could tell them the date and the location, and I will create a flyer and an Eventbrite, and it's a free class. I just want to let everybody know that it's a free class, but we always accept all kinds of donations. And then we'll have the budgeting book for, Mint.
It's another one.
MINT.
I have that on my app, and then I have, it's called Buddy.
Buddy, BUDDY.
It's a budget and save money app. Oops.
Okay.
Came out weird.
Save, SAVE, money app.
Budget and it's called Buddy.
Okay.
Budget, for some reason, and save money. That's another one.
Okay. All right. I think that will get them started. And I mean, by telling them to go to their bank with the mobile app, that would be a good thing as well. So we're just giving them a few places that they can go and look at. So that's great. All right. So is that it?
That is it for today. Please join us for our in-person workshop. You'll be able to, again, get some just some worksheets that are going to help you budget, as well as a link to other resources, as well as tools that you can use to help you budget, to help you save money, as well as other topics.
Okay, so the time and location, even though I will be creating a flyer, let's give them a time and location so that they can at least put it on their calendar.
Yeah, so the time will be 6 p.m., April 24th. And it's going to be at our BMO branch on Kington Farm. I will type the address in the chat. Excuse me, April 26th. So budgeting and making.
And I will read it out for the viewers on Facebook because I'm also recording it. So it will also be on our YouTube channel. So
April 26th. And then let me pull up the address. It is in Plainfield.
yep, the Plainfield facility. I know it's on Route 59. I don't have the.
Yeah, there's like 2 branches, so I want to make sure I pull up the correct one. Here we go. It's 2251 South Route 59, Plainfield, Illinois 60586.
Okay, can you repeat that? It's
2251 South Route 59 in Plainfield 60586.
All right. And they'll be standing by for the flyer. And like I said, we will have it on our Eventbrite, and it is a free class to all. And for those that are not residing in the Chicagoland area, we will do the same thing. We will have it on Zoom and Facebook Live for you all to stream it. Yep, 2251 South Route 59, Plainfield, Illinois, 60586. And that will be at 6 p.m. at the BMO Harris Bank.
Yes.
All righty. So let me stop the Facebook Live, but I want to tell them thank you, giving them my heart and saying to look out and continue to follow continue to follow Top Flight Defense Incorporated on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and check out our YouTube channel. And if you don't have a bank,
we're here to help you. You can reach out to me.
There you go, BMO Harris Bank. So let me say goodbye to our Facebook viewers and stop the recording. Bye-bye, Facebook, and thank you.